Welcome to the Raised in Hackney podcast, made by Hoxton Hall, exploring stories, opinions and ideas from Hackney.
Black beyond the hashtag. Spring 2020, the UK was hit by the COVID pandemic and went into lockdown. On the 25th of May, we witnessed the murder of Black American George Floyd by the police on camera. These brutal images went viral and caused the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement. On the 9th of June, millions of people marched in solidarity around the world. A new generation of anti-racist activists was born, with many marching for the first time. This series was recorded in the summer of 2020 in Hoxton, Hackney, East London. We wanted to hear intergenerational perspectives on race and racial injustice. 12 Black people aged 11 to 65 generously contributed their time, opinions and honesty. Episode 1, The Youngsters, 11 to 16-year-olds. We opened our conversation with the question, what does Black identity mean to you?
Personally, Black for me is like my culture. Like, it's strong and like deeply rooted, and it goes like far back, like past slavery, past everything. It's just beautiful, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't trade being Black for anything.
As you can see, I'm not necessarily Black, but I'll still classify myself as that because of...
You're Black in you.
Yeah, so... And, other people still would look at me different and maybe not give me the same opportunities as someone else. So I kind of classify myself as Black, if that makes sense.
We discussed recent events and Black Lives Matter.
Let's go in a circle, just saying like what we've been following up on the Black Lives Matter thing. So,
yeah, I've been following it. I went to 2 of the protests. I feel like when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement, it's the government that we have to have conversations with, because if nothing changes systematically, then nothing's ever going to change.
I'm going to ask you a question. So what about like the constant parades that Black Lives Matter did since it started in 2013, when the death of like many like young black men being shot from the police, especially in Jefferson, different states as well. So what do you think about that?
I think the main question is, if there was no social media or like no quarantine or anything, will people still be woke to all this like all the Black Lives Matter things, and will people still notice the George Floyd death, the Breonna Taylor death? And yeah, I want you guys to answer.
Because without social media, I feel like obviously there's Parliament, but still there's not much places to put your voice out. If the George Floyd killing wasn't recorded, then no one would know, and this would still be going on.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like social media is more used for propaganda, more or less. As you can see, a lot of different messages were sent out to like provoke a certain community or agent provocateur as well, where they like put out different obstacles for like looters to be able to use, and that's how, and it was decided to like spread around the world to cause more tension as well during the community. So it's definitely more of like a propaganda thing with social media. But when the Black Panther, when they started their movements, I don't think they really had social media back then in the 1960s or the 70s, isn't it? So I feel like it still could be easily like implemented without social media, but you're just gonna need to you need to plan your movements.
Yeah, I have been following up on Black Lives Matter. It's kind of hard not to. What would I want to say? Yeah, like everyone else, I saw the George Floyd killing. I saw the protests that were going on. I even went to one in London. I was going to ask something and just be like, just on a real one, how did you lot, like, wow, or after, if you did watch the video or heard about it, just how did you feel about it?
I think social media has done a big impact on our lives during quarantine. And I have been following the Black Lives Matter movement on social media. And like, as I'm not a teenager, but like, I'm young, so I didn't watch the whole thing because I'm still young to notice that, but I did see the picture, and I just felt disappointed, like, what has 2020 become? And yeah, because I don't think we should be judged.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost like the stages of grief. Like, at first I was just very, very angry, upset, more not accepting, like, in the sense of that's what should have happened, but accepting and like, okay, this is what not all of this is happening out of it. Yeah, it's still kind of obviously hard to talk about and think about, but it is definitely a conversation that, like, everyone probably has to have or had, even when it, not just black people, even when it comes to white people as well, because that's what I feel like I've been most surprised about. With, like, when I went to the protest, for example, the diversity, like, I'd never been to a protest before, so I didn't really know what to expect. But I mean, there was a lot of white people, there was a lot of Asian people, and that kind of made me happy, and like even friends or something that I've never really spoke to about this before, but because this is the place that we're at now and this is how I'm thinking, seeing that they can, like, generally understand and just show as well that they do care and want things to change, especially white friends.
My gut tells me that like the George Floyd killing, it wasn't really real, because I think he went through the car, the police pissed him, but no one knows what happened in the car. They could have been communicating and it could have all been planned.
I haven't seen the full thing, but I've seen pictures, and yeah, it just made me feel angry, but not as much because it's normal, but it shouldn't be. So I felt like something needed to be done.
I wasn't surprised really when I saw the video, because there was so many similar deaths to George Floyd during the time span of 2013 to 2020 either way. So then I just started thinking, it's just another day and another revolt.
Don't you think that's mad though, that we're so desensitized to that it's normal? Because I watched the whole 8 minutes and like 49 seconds, and like I could watch that and of course be angry and surprised, but like not surprised in the sense of like surprised that really happened and that he did it while someone was recording. I mean, obviously, like, yeah, you can say that there is conspiracies about if it was planned, if it was fake, but I don't know. I just think it's mad that we're like kind of desensitized to that, and that's what's normal. And it took that for the world to kind of speak up.
Yeah, I was like very annoyed. I felt like it was planned because there were like so many people recording the killing of George Floyd, but they never actually stepped in. They just kept crying on their camera and never actually did anything. I can't really blame them though,
because America's different. I feel like if it was the UK, they don't have guns, so someone would have stepped in. But I mean, the way that guy was acting, then if someone stepped in, then I won't be surprised if they got killed.
So nowadays, we know how black people, they are facing injustice and being killed, like George Floyd and other people. Do you think this also happens to white people? Like they face injustice sometimes?
When it comes to racism?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, because this is a conversation I've had before with friends. It's like, can you be racist to white people? Like, of course, like being racist is discrimination and prejudice towards someone or a certain race because of the color of their skin. So yeah, you can be racist to white people, but the difference is like, it's almost like being racist to a white person is worse than being racist to a black person. But I wanted to ask, has anyone seen what happened recently with Wiley? Wiley's a UK grime artist that came out with some tweets anti-Semitic tweets, so racist against Jewish people. I'm not gonna repeat what he's saying because that's not necessary. But it was bad and
anti-Semitic comments.
Yeah. So he got a backlash. Like I believe he should have. He's been kind of blacklisted from social media, so Twitter, Instagram, even his YouTube channel got banned. And police came to his door in under 24 hours because of these racist, anti-Semitic comments. So it's like, of course, I understand that, but I feel like where's the consistency? Because I don't see that same energy with Katie Hopkins or Tommy Robinson. If you lot know who these people are, they're just like widely known racist people that just always, say bad things about black people. And I think some of them have been banned, but it's taken a long time or whatever. I haven't heard a story of police coming to Katie Hopkins doing under 24 hours because of racist comments. Like, how do you lot feel about that? What happened to Wiley should have happened? Maybe not the YouTube thing, because I mean it is his music, so I feel like he should have the right to post and whatever. But the consistency, do you feel like it's there? If a black person was racist to a white person, it almost seems like it's worse. When it's the other way around, it's like it doesn't seem as bad. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think it's true. Because, like you said, they won't have the same energy to come to other white people, because when they compare black and white, they put the white people higher, and if it was a white person being racist and putting out these tweets on social media, they wouldn't act the same to what they done to Wiley. I've got a question. I mean, not a question. I want you guys to answer it. During, like, these protests and, like, all these, like, not riots and everything, do you think the white people should be doing the riots? I think they don't have the same anger that we black people have, so I don't think they should be, like, stamping on cars, burning down buildings. I think it's not our position to do it, but, like, we have the anger because we've maybe experienced it, and now white people shouldn't be doing that. Like, I understand the protesting. Yeah, you're supporting us, uplifting us and everything. And do you guys want to say anything about that?
I think that maybe since, like, white people have white privilege, maybe if the white people put more effort into doing it, something might actually change.
Yeah, I was going to say their voices are going to be heard more, and if they start pushing up Black Lives Matter, then obviously it's going to be heard by the government and people like that. So yeah, I think they do have the right to be in the protests and such.
Yeah, not protests, like riots, like throwing, like burning stuff, getting angry,
right.
Shouting. But I understand the protesting because, like I said, they're uplifting us, and like protesting, that's okay. But like riots, sometimes they need to like.
Riots, I think no one has a right because you don't know whose store you're burning down or whose car you're burning.
We shouldn't be looting or rioting. We should take this to a more peaceful precaution. At least march to the White House or something instead of focusing on your local supermarket and looting it.
So in general, you just don't think no one should riot in the first place?
No, not like riots. You can riot, so you can do angry shouting all this, but you can't be destroying property because you don't know the history of whose property is that. It could be a fellow black person who's going through trouble and all this kind of things.
Yeah, I agree, but I feel like it's hard because with rioting, there's gonna come the ignorant people from both sides, white and black. That's gonna do this. That's gonna take advantage.
Either way, the US government can easily recover from all this, so I don't think it's causing that much of an impact to them or changing their mind.
Yeah, the only thing when it does come to riots, when it comes to looting and everything, it's like when it gets to that side of things, then it's like the government forget about the actual message and
You just look at the offensive side.
Yeah, and things can start to escalate. Like when Donald Trump was tweeting at one point when it was forgot where it was exactly, but Minneapolis, yeah. Those riots. Then I remember Donald Trump tweeting like all the rioting and looting has to stop, and if not, the shooting starts, something like that.
Yeah, you're right though about all this kind of things, like shooting them down. It's not really that. It's kind of it's like a dictatorship. Do you think it's more like a dictatorship, like all this kind of thing?
I feel like the way that Donald Trump acts, he wants to make it a dictatorship, but it's like, I don't think that they would actually start doing that.
That's gonna,
if it did happen, I'll be surprised, but yeah.
That's gonna anger everyone even more, isn't
Exactly,
it? Start a civil war, all these kind of things.
Because it is known that white people are the people that hold the power when it comes to the highest of regards, prime ministers, presidents, government, just in general. So that's where change happens. And I feel like not necessarily everyone started to listen and everyone in the government's on board, but also by them seeing other white people jump on it, it shows that it's more than just like, it's not something that they can just stereotype again. It's a common issue now that's known, and it's important, I feel like, for just in general, for white people to speak up. Important.
But you see, for the Black Lives Matter thing, what exactly are they trying to change? What kind of things?
It's a good question.
I think they're trying to blend in with society, I'd say. Like, because they face a lot of injustice, which stops them from doing lots of stuff. So I think they're trying to be on equal footing with white people. The
question that you asked, it was good because it's like, a lot of this is coming up and a lot of things are happening that have mainly been created by like black people, like Black Pound Day, and just in general supporting black owned businesses, and of course like protests and all these things. I can't really think or remember something that the government has done or said that's gonna help things. At the same time, obviously it is hard, so I'm not sure what they could do, but yeah, it doesn't really seem like they care. So I think it's important for the people to create and want change.
I think the media, they don't show the peaceful protests. Instead, they show like the riots, the burning buildings, and I think they haven't done enough to support the movement. Andrew?
I feel like social media is more of an instigator thing, isn't it? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, just in like media in general. Like when I went to the protests, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I didn't know if things were gonna turn sour, but I mean, I was there for like 3-4 hours, and then the clip that I saw from the protest that I went to was it wasn't when I was there, but it was like a guy getting knocked off his horse. This was in London, and the horse just like running through, and that's all that was portrayed on like media and stuff like that. And it was like, you didn't show the other like 8 hours of like people with plaques and fists up. So like you were saying, the reason they haven't been doing much was anything, because obviously there's a clear agenda. So I think it's up to them, up to the people, what we want and like the power that we have, because we do have power. I would like Black Lives Matter to change. Well, just in general, like, I know it's a broad term, but of course, just racism in general. I think to more specific, and maybe to do that, for people to be more, like they have been, but I feel like there's no consistency in it. So for people to carry on being vocal and also back that up with actions, if that makes sense. So like, for an example, actually putting money into black-owned businesses, starting black-owned businesses, just doing things that helps the broader community. Yeah.
For me, I want Black Lives Matter to let us be able to do things that we normally can't do, like get a certain job or do something in a certain business, if you get what I mean.
I want Black Lives Matter to change like white privilege, because we don't get to do stuff like what other ethnic groups do, and I want to change that, and that will have a big impact on the whole world, because it won't change racism, but it will still make a change.
I want Black Lives Matters to change in the future. The killings that are going on, and probably the problems with the hair. About like some black people, they're getting annoyed because the white people are changing the names of the hairstyles. Maybe the white people could stop doing that too.
Honestly, I just wanted to just change everything, like, you know, all the kind of like racial profiling, the racial stereotypes, which stems the like society to attack us because of it. I just want that all to end, honestly, and like to just be on equal footing with like everybody, like just live in like unity.
Yeah, and just to add to my point, because one thing that popped up in my head when you said that was just the media to change as well, because I feel like the media is a big instigator for everything that's happening. So maybe to have like a black-owned media platform that's just it's just normal media rather than propaganda and putting things across.
Yeah, I'd also like some of the people to stop using the whole matter as a way to get them to get more likes, get more followers on social media.
Yeah,
I'd like that to stop as well.
I don't want white privilege to exist because black people will be deeply affected by it because we won't get the same things that white people can have. And I don't think every ethnic group should have privilege because I think we should all just be treated the same, and more black people can have more stuff, like because of our past and everything that's happening. So I think we should not say I do believe that all lives matter, but not like say it. We should just say Black Lives Matter because all lives matter won't exist until Black Lives Matter too.
Most white people that I know have been saying to me, of course, Black Lives Matter. Me might have been posting it on social media and all the stuff. Like, it was good awareness. Everyone's doing it, so it's fine. But it's like now there's a bit of I don't really see a lot of people talking about it, which is fine. I understand things can be trends, but Black Lives Mattering is not a trend. Do you know what I mean? It's something that's always gonna be and that we're always gonna push forward to. So just for people to be more vocal about it and actually back what they're saying, and for white people to also realize their privilege and do something about it. So in situations where they can see that clearly that they have white privilege to help out a black person or maybe give them opportunities.
People think once they post Black Lives Matter, I know they've done a good job, but they think, that's okay, that's done. All I need to say is Black Lives Matter and people will like me. They'll, like you said, you'll get more likes, followers and everything on social media. And that won't change. Yeah, it won't change anything. And
I think we should tell white people to pressure the government twice as hard as we are.
Just use your political advantage to try boosting up the whole Black Lives Matter thing. They have more of a political advantage than we do, since like their race controls more of society. So I feel like that if they were to work twice as hard as well, if they were to use their political advantage, that we would actually be able to impact more on society maybe.
As a young child, some of us, our voices are not heard, and I think we should have more opportunities to do this, like do podcasts and everything, because some of us we can't use our voice, and we're here, and
Of course I can talk about it, but there's not much that you can physically do and put money into as a 15-year-old. But I mean, with my dreams and aspirations that hopefully come true, I want to be very vocal and kind of take the power back, in a sense of to have my own businesses that can provide opportunities just to black people in general and that deserve it.
With my dreams and aspirations, I want to use such things such as media and business to help black people that are suffering. Honestly, there's not much things I can do, but I want to try build myself up to try help with the whole situation and hopefully get a political power to get a say.
Because we're young people and see lots of different sides of things. And because we have dreams, aspirations, we should use those to help people, because we're the next generation. So we should get our voices out now and tell people what we think and how we can change.
In episode 2, Big People discuss Black identity, recent events, and Black Lives Matter. Black Beyond the Hashtag was supported by Young Hackney, produced by Karena Johnson, production by Saria Afogba. Thank you to Grace Hammonds, Poppy Kay, and of course, our wonderful contributors.